the Mediterranean Sea. This body of water encompasses nearly 2.5 million square kilometers. For thousands of years, this region has been considered the cradle that nurtured many powerful empires and gave rise to the advanced Western civilization we know today. Even now, the lands bordering the Mediterranean Sea bear deep imprints of the achievements left behind by ancient civilizations such as writing, art, architecture, and technology. But there is one more particular imprint that few people pay attention to. That is the story of the giants. That is correct. The legend of the giants appears throughout the Mediterranean. The Roman historian Dio Cassius wrote that giants walked the land before the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. We today consider this a myth. But at that time, the giants were thought to be real. But who were they? What did they look like? And what were they here for? Did humans really witness giants walking the earth in ancient times, as recorded by Dio Cassius? As mentioned in the previous section, the coastal region of the Mediterranean Sea is truly a place of extreme significance to the history of ancient Western civilization. The mild climate and fertile land created the conditions for the birth of some of the Earth's greatest civilizations. We can name a few familiar names such as Mesopotamia, Egypt, Babylon, Phoenicia, Greece, and Rome. The development of these civilizations went far beyond what we imagine about them. Art, philosophy, science, and architecture all formed the important foundations for later Western civilization. Their advancement is truly astonishing. Each ancient civilization at that time had its own discoveries and innovations to suit the progress of history. Mesopotamian astronomers calculated the 12-month calendar. Phoenician sailors pioneered celestial navigation. And Greek statesmen established the principles of a democratic government. Throughout this Mediterranean region, the story of the giants seems to be quite familiar. There are many different versions telling of such large beings. These beings are neither gods nor men, but they play an indispensable role in the oldest stories of the Greeks. It is told that the giants battled the gods residing on Mount Olympus to gain control of the heavens. Actually, it is not just in the Mediterranean, but everywhere, every culture in the world, the appearance of giants is noted. Tribes in the southwest of America often tell of a red-haired race of giants, similar to what the Celts in Europe recounted about their descendants. That red-haired race of giants is named the Tuatha De Danann. In India, the first Sanskrit texts record that the Buddha was a blue-skinned giant standing up to 2.7 meters tall. And on Easter Island, according to local legend, the colossal stone walls were erected by giants. But for those who believe in the existence of giants, the Mediterranean remains the place where the most incredible stories are found. Furthermore, their details might indicate that this region was the destination of these colossal beings originating from another planet. Indeed, in the Mediterranean, we have many stories from ancient Greece, Rome, or Sumer that speak of giants as a part of history. Thus, the idea that at some point in time, a race of giants walked the land is entirely possible. And at that time, we must ask ourselves, who were they? If giants once lived alongside humans as the ancient texts record, did they leave any evidence of their presence? It is believed that the answer can be found through examining an extremely famous giant race mentioned in Greek mythology. As far back as the 7th century before Christ, the poet Hesiod wrote about the Cyclopes, a group of giants responsible for building extraordinary stone structures around the world. The Cyclopes are a race of one-eyed giants. They are extremely talented architects, craftsmen, and sculptors. They can manufacture objects, make armor, weapons, and many other things. In other words, the Cyclopes belong to a supernatural race, playing an extremely important role for the vast coastal land of the Mediterranean. Many ancient structures are believed to have been built by giants. One of them is the structure we are looking at, the Lion Gate at Mycenae. Why is that so? What is special about this structure? Does it preserve an imprint of the Cyclops giants? The reason people say this is because the architecture of the Lion Gate is referred to as Cyclopean masonry, a series of highly distinctive structures. Historically, Cyclopean is the term used to refer to a building technique of stacking large stone blocks together without the need for any type of mortar. From this technique, over time, a series of structures across many different civilizations gradually emerged. They include defensive walls, temples, tombs, and also fortresses. Today, any ancient structural work with a building style of stacking large rock slabs together, creating a jagged stone shape, is identified as having used the Cyclopean technique. So, did the Cyclops giants truly build the architectural works in the Mediterranean, enduring the terrible devastation of time to stand firm until today? Personally, the answer is yes, and the number of incredible structures built by the giants does not stop at just a few or a few dozen, but amounts to thousands of other small structures. Right in the center of the Mediterranean Sea, south of Sicily, Italy, is the Maltese archipelago, with 3 inhabited islands and an area of nearly 310 square kilometers. This is one of the smallest countries in the world today, but this small nation is still proud to have as many as 7 colossal stone structures. Among them are some monolithic stones that are among the largest in the world. The stone temples in Malta date back 1,000 years longer than the pyramids in Egypt. They are the most ancient, massive stone architectural works on Earth. And what is noteworthy is that these types of stone architecture may well have originated from Malta itself. Today, these stone architectural works are regarded by archaeologists as one of the greatest creations of ancient craftsmen on Earth. Please look here. This is the structure named Gantija. Gantija is the second oldest stone temple and one of the world's most important and mysterious archaeological sites. Even to this day, scientists have not been able to decipher the purpose of its construction by the ancients. It was once the oldest temple in the world before the Göbekli Tepe discovery. Built between 3,600 and 3,000 before Christ, the Gantija temple consists of 2 separate temples and a third one that remains unfinished. The South Temple was built in 3,600 before Christ, and the North Temple in 3,000 before Christ. These 2 temples were excavated in 1826, but in-depth research was only conducted in the late 1920s. The ancients created the facade of the Third Temple, and then, for some unknown reason, abandoned it. The Gantija complex was built mainly of stone, with many similarities to other famous temple complexes on the island of Malta. With many stone pillars, large stone walls, and small statues inside believed to be symbols of fertility. In each temple, there are 5 apses connected to a central corridor, leading to the inner sanctuary. The South Temple is much wider than the North Temple and is elaborately carved. Although built many years apart, both temples have similar architectural styles. Externally, the Gantija complex is surrounded by a massive boundary wall, which is the highlight of the temple. This wall was built using advanced techniques with megaliths over 5 meters high and weighing more than 10 tons. Inside, there are small stones believed to have been used as rollers to replace wheels, specifically for transporting the giant stone blocks during the temple construction. However, this is just one explanation, because even if the giant stones could be transported to the construction site, people still cannot explain how the builders of that time could stack such large stone blocks on top of each other. To this day, local residents still believe that the Gantija temple was built by giants. The name Gantija in Maltese also means belonging to the giants. So, should we suspect that this place was once the abode of a race of giant beings thousands of years ago? And if so, were they born on Earth Or did they come from somewhere else in the universe? We might find the answer as we continue to another ancient stone structure in Malta. A structure with a specific and close connection to the universe named Mythology. This complex consists of stone structures arranged based on the shape of a clover, a symbol of good luck. Among the three temples in the Mythology complex, the South Temple seems to have been specially designed to function as a solar calendar. Traditional archaeologists state that the oldest temple here was built around 3600 before Christ by the same builders who constructed Gantija. And of course, the builders we are talking about here are understood to be the giants. But in 1992, Professor Paul Michael F. of the University of Malta published a shocking book claiming that Mythology is much older than the published figure. He believes it was built more than 10,000 years before Christ, based on astronomical research results concerning the Earth's tilt. If what the professor analyzed in his book is accurate, then the temple predates the first known civilization on Earth. So how could such a sophisticated stone structure with incredible astronomical alignment have been built on an isolated island even before human civilization formed? Many people suggest that the construction knowledge was passed to the Maltese by the giants, a race that did not belong to Earth. To better understand what we are talking about, I think there is a need for more traces, perhaps something clearer from the giants. Still located on the island of Malta, but this time in the southwest, in the region of Misra Gar il Kabir. This area is home to some of the world's most baffling traces. A complex network of deep grooves etched into the rock, which local residents simply call cart ruts. The cart ruts in Malta are about 1.2 meters wide. They are evenly spaced, as if prearranged. Some of them extend for tens of meters, while others stretch up to a kilometer. The imprints etched into the rock are called cart ruts, based on their shape. They look like the tracks of some rudimentary vehicle, pulled by horses or even people passing over the ground. However, we cannot know what they actually are because there are no records and no clues to verify this. Many of them crisscross, so complex that the area is compared to Clapham Junction, the London railway station. The author of the book The Cart Ruts of Malta, Decoding a Mystery, studied these traces for decades and published his work in 2010. In the book, we see the way people explain how they were formed. The first hypothesis presented is that these marks were formed by drag sledges, a means of transport often used by the local Bedouin people. They used this to move household items such as tents and cooking pots from one place to another. The problem here is that when moving, the distance between the poles of these sledges is much wider than the cart ruts we are discussing. Thus, this hypothesis has been completely rejected. And perhaps not everyone has noticed that many cart ruts lead straight out to the Mediterranean Sea. This looks as if they are heading straight down to the deep sea floor. That is very strange. Perhaps we are looking at a deliberately constructed work that we cannot understand. The cart ruts leading into the sea are kilometers long under the water and connect to neighboring islands. Clearly, the water level has risen a lot compared to thousands of years ago. During the Earth's last recorded ice age, sea level was 90 meters lower. So, in the period from 10 to 15,000 years ago, many islands in this archipelago may have been a single large island. And that was also the home of people who used some strange vehicle to transport stones everywhere around the island. This means that Professor Paul Michael F. Disandidint's discovery is true. The Mythology Temple was accurately built 12,000 years ago. However, there is one more thing that causes confusion for researchers. That is, in reality, these grooves do not only appear in Malta. Similar cart ruts are found throughout Tunisia and Sicily. Therefore, it seems they are related to some mysterious race that dominated a large area around the Mediterranean. Were the cart ruts the remains of a complex transport system that existed about 12,000 years ago? And also the trace left by the workers who built the stone temples, or in other words, the giants. Perhaps we should go to another island to find more specific clues to this mysterious question. Located 186 kilometers west of the Italian peninsula, this picturesque Mediterranean island has many rugged gorges, arid palm groves, and white sand beaches. It is also home to many mysterious ancient stone structures similar to those found in Malta, more than 600 kilometers away. Sardinia is perhaps best known for the abundance of structures called nuraghe. They are conical towers, but with the top part truncated to have a flat surface above. As many as 7,000 nuraghe have been discovered by archaeologists in Sardinia. In reality, that number could be 20,000 or more. The nuraghe are made from massive stacked basalt stones. Archaeologists have absolutely no idea how structures like this were built. A massive volume of material could not have spontaneously congregated. According to traditional archaeologists, these structures belong to an indigenous civilization that emerged about 4,000 years ago and mysteriously disappeared around 200 years after Christ. The strangest of the structures found are the stone tombs believed to belong to giants. Nearly 800 giant tombs is a number worth noting. But why do people think they belong to giants? The answer is very simple. Because they are much larger than necessary. People have personally gone there, manually measured the tombs, and concluded that it is entirely possible to comfortably fit someone about 4 meters tall inside. The problem is that we have never found a body or a skeleton here. But is it possible that they truly once contained the bodies of giants? And if Sardinia was the homeland of a giant race, who were they? In 2014, the National Archaeological Museum of Italy in Sardinia unveiled an exhibition of some colossal stone statues named the Giants of Monteprama. They were found on the west coast of Sardinia in 1974. Since then, countless scientific excavations have taken place. 40 stone statues about 2.5 meters tall have been reconstructed from various parts and are present here. The giants of Monteprama are truly very strange, especially their faces. If not stated beforehand, many people would surely mistake these faces for the C-3PO robot in the famous Star Wars film series. But more importantly, it is said that they were modeled after the shape of beings that once lived with the local residents. What happened? What were our ancestors trying to describe through these sculpted statues? If they truly are simulations of the race of giants that once lived on the island, does that strange appearance reveal anything about them? More than 300 stone monuments scattered across the islands might help us get more information about this issue. These stone monuments are called menhirs by people. A menhir consists of a large stone slab planted vertically into the ground, as you are seeing. They once had more religious significance than decoration or beautification. We can clearly see them everywhere. But in Sardinia, it is completely different because abstract human figures are often carved on them, like seeing someone landing from the sky. Some people suggest that they represent people who descended from the sky to impart knowledge. The Birdman cult has long existed around the world. We see more carvings of winged human-like creatures, even before the description of angels appeared. The half-human, half-bird creature already existed. So, if the giant statues in Sardinia describe extraterrestrial giants, do the menhirs also reveal the same thing? The idea of extraterrestrial giants having once appeared is further reinforced by another ancient people, the Sumerians. This civilization existed at the same time as the menhirs in Sardinia were carved, as well as when the records of the Anunnaki giants appeared. The Anunnaki are figures of the creator gods in ancient Sumerian and Babylonian culture. Our ancestors thought their appearance was magical and sacred. This detail truly reinforces the belief in the extraterrestrial origin of the giants throughout the Mediterranean. And if the giants truly once walked here, is there any chance we might find their remaining footprints? It is time for us to venture beyond the borders of the Mediterranean to shed light on the truth about the giants in the missing part of history. In recent years, many giant footprints have been found in many places around the world. Spain, Sri Lanka, Paraguay, Botswana, Texas, USA, Australia, and Thailand. Many scientists have traveled to these places to personally witness and study the giant footprints. What they discovered and determined truly astonished everyone. The appearance of those colossal feet seems to challenge those who doubt the existence of giants and prehistorical civilizations. In 1912, a hunter named Stoffel Coetzee accidentally stepped on a giant footprint in the town of Mapuluzi in South Africa. The footprint, about 1.2 meters long, has been dated by scientists to a time before the appearance of humans. Local people call it the footprint of God. The footprint is about 1.2 meters long and looks very much like a human footprint. Although the dating of this giant footprint is still debated, it is estimated to be between 200 million and 3 billion years old. The print is etched into a phenocryst granite slab, also called porphyritic granite. The porphyritic granite block has undergone many cooling and shaping processes, so there is absolutely no possibility that this colossal footprint is man-made. If this is truly a footprint left by a giant, the height of this giant is at least 7 meters. But the traces on the rock's surface clearly show that tectonic activity has caused the rock surface to tilt upwards. To accurately determine the age of the footprint, further scientific validation results are still needed. Some people say this is entirely a random coincidence, just a natural rock formation. But most people reject this view. They say the probability of a small green man from outer space using his tongue to lick it into this shape is greater than the possibility of natural erosion. Many believers in the existence of giants link this colossal footprint to the remnants of giants found in Ecuador. In 1964, the family of Catholic priest Carlos Vaca found a giant skeleton in a valley in southern Ecuador. After being identified by many experts, one of the bones was a heel bone and one was a pelvic bone. Both belonged to an individual 7.6 meters tall. Unfortunately, the bones were too old to extract DNA for research by experts. In the late 1950s, many giant bone fossils were discovered in the valleys of Turkey. The investigation proved that they were very similar to human bones, but the proportions were astonishingly large. One of the femur bones was 120 centimeters long. Based on this ratio, the person was 5 meters tall, and it is reasonable that he was a giant. By 1976, information about the discovery of giant human skeletons in Romania began to spread widely. These skeletons are said to have been up to 10 meters long. And apparently, this information has challenged conventional beliefs about human physiology and rewritten our understanding of ancient civilizations. They were found during excavations in the Carpathian Mountains. The bones are said to possess extraordinary anatomical features including large leg bones, elongated skulls, and incredibly robust bone structures. These discoveries have raised fascinating questions about the existence of a race of giants in antiquity. The existence of these supposed giant skeletons has long been a controversial topic in the field of archaeology. Skeptics suggest that records of these colossal remains may be the result of misinterpretation, exaggeration, or deception. They question the lack of widespread documentation, scientific analysis, and peer-reviewed publications supporting the claims. Furthermore, some argue that a length of up to 10 meters is highly unlikely due to the physiological limitations of humans and the structural integrity of the bones. They point out the challenges associated with the preservation and handling of such colossal remains, as well as the practical implications of having individuals of such gigantic size in ancient societies. However, proponents of these extraordinary discoveries argue that the existence of giants is supported by numerous ancient texts, myths, and oral traditions found in various cultures worldwide. They suggest that the suppression of evidence and the dismissal of these discoveries may stem from a desire to maintain the established historical narrative. The giant skeletons allegedly found in Romania are linked to Hyperborea, a mythical land mentioned in ancient texts and folk culture. Some researchers propose that Hyperborea was an advanced civilization inhabited by giants, offering a potential explanation for the discovery of the giant remains. Interestingly, reports of giant skeletons are not limited to Romania, but appear in many places around the world. These findings align with other anomalies and unexplained archaeological discoveries, such as ancient megalithic structures, elongated skulls, and mysterious artifacts. These puzzling pieces contribute to growing evidence that challenges traditional historical narratives. To explore the truth behind these supposed giant skeletons, rigorous scientific investigations are needed, including comprehensive archaeological excavations, advanced dating techniques, and genetic analysis. An interdisciplinary approach involving collaboration among archaeologists, geneticists, anthropologists, and other experts is crucial in unraveling the mystery and providing convincing evidence. In May of 1912, archaeologists from Beloit College excavated 18 skeletons in the Delavan, Wisconsin, USA area. The skeletons had oversized body and skull sizes, unlike any human race ever found. Many people believe this photo is a fake, as the man standing on the mound is too flat to be an excavation area. According to some information, the U.S. Supreme Court forced the Smithsonian Institution to release secret documents from the 1990s. These documents revealed that the Smithsonian had destroyed thousands of giant skeletons to protect the institution's centuries-long evolutionary viewpoint. Specifically, scientists argued that the ancestors of the Americans were people who came from Asia. But with the existence of giant human remains, this view is completely false. However, the truth is still unknown to us because it has not been published. To date, the most influential evidence of the existence of giants is the 38-centimeter-long finger bone of a human. The Swiss businessman, Gregory Spoeri, at the age of 16, published this on the German website Bild. Day in 2012. He claimed to have seen the mummified giant fingers in Egypt in the 1980s. Spoeri stated that he traveled to Egypt in 1988. On the last day of his trip, he met an old man who claimed to be a tomb robber in Bir Hukr, 100 kilometers northeast of Cairo. The old man asked him to pay $300 and showed him a giant finger. He also described the finger being placed in an oval-shaped package and emitting a musty smell. Upon opening it, damaged blood vessels were still visible, with traces of mold on the torn skin. He also showed 2 documents from the 1960s, verifying the giant finger. One was an X-ray film, and the other was a doctor's expert evaluation letter confirming it was a human finger. The old man firmly stated that he would not sell the giant finger. He told Gregory Spoeri that all the items his family stole from the tomb were sellable except for this finger. Finally, Gregory Spoeri only took a few photos, one of which was a 15-centimeter-long bill placed next to the finger for comparison. Gregory Spoeri later returned to Egypt to look for the old man and the giant finger, but they had all disappeared. We are living in a world full of mysteries, with much information being hidden to protect the current status quo and what we believe to be the truth about ourselves and the Earth. New perceptions do not necessarily align with our ingrained notions. Therefore, in the face of very real new discoveries, we should broaden our worldview, let go of prejudice, and use reason to seek the true history. Do you believe that giants exist in this world? And if so, will they return in the future? This video will conclude here. Goodbye, and see you in the next new journeys. I wish everyone a good day.